evening. Welcome to the State of Business on our television with me, Kavishka Pereira. Let's take a look at today's headlines. President instructs new governors to directly meditate to make public service efficient. GMOA requests Presidential Commission to investigate allegations of corruption in Ministry of Health. News in detail. President Maithripala Sirisena has stated that he expects all new governors to directly meditate when needed in order to achieve the expected development goals by making public services systematic and efficient. The President made this statement at a meeting with governors, chief secretaries of provincial councils and other officials at the President's Secretariat recently. The week from January 21st to January 28th has been named the Drug Prevention Week, and several programs are being organized to increase social awareness regarding repercussions of drug usage. These programs are targeted at educating school children, government officers and the general public. President Sirisena requested governors and secretaries of provincial councils to pay personal attention towards these programs. The week starting from 18th of February to 23rd has been announced as the week of Grama Shakti People's Movement, and programs will be conducted to spread the Grama Shakti People's Movement to 4,000 villages. Speaking at a press conference held today, Assistant Secretary to the GMOA, Dr. Haritha Aludge, stated that the GMOA has requested the President to appoint a special Presidential Commission to investigate allegations of corruption and irregularities at the Ministry of Health during the previous 4 years.
Today our press conference was about two things: that we had a very successful meeting with His Excellency the President on last Saturday, and we have discussed many issues including that of Singapore Free Trade Agreement and also the All Island Service issue with regard to the proposed new constitution. And also we have discussed many issues with regard to the health sector, and we have requested His Excellency the President to appoint a special Presidential Commission to investigate the charges of corruption and irregularities within the Ministry of Health within last 4 years. And His Excellency promised that he will proceed with our request and he will appoint the Presidential Committee soon. And regarding the Singapore Free Trade Agreement, the President has promised that recommendations put forward by the expert committee, where President has appointed to study the Singapore Free Trade Agreement, he will proceed with the recommendations and also the national trade policy with the full blessings of the government. We are ready to deal with the President and go ahead with the preparation of the national trade policy. And the other thing is the constitution issue, and we have requested the President not to allow the provincial council to have their own policies with regard to the health. We have asked the President to ensure that the national health policies will be implemented in all provinces. That will ensure the equity and the quality of the health services in whole country.
Speaking exclusively to Art Television for a special business program, former President of the Federation of Chamber of Commerce and Chairman International Chamber of Commerce Thissa Jayawira expressed the following regarding the implementation of borrowing methods.
Other than for the G7 countries, every other country is borrowing, right? Because without money in the pocket, you can't work, right? So you need to borrow. But then there is something called, I heard of LIBOR, London Interbank Rate. So generally it's based on the, borrowings are based on LIBOR. You can borrow at LIBOR plus quarter. Today I didn't study what the LIBOR was, but generally we watch. So there's a LIBOR, that's the base. And then now all, say, governments of the world take money from the bank and then lend to third world or second world or people who want to borrow. But the newly developed countries use money of the public, right, and lend at commercial rate.
Stay tuned for more news after this short commercial break. Welcome back. Governor Dr. Indrajit Kumaraswamy, addressing the presentation on the monetary and fiscal policies of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka for 2019, explained measures taken to develop market and debt management practices and to also enhance transparency when handling public debt for 2019.
We are contemplating taking several measures to develop market and debt management practices in 2019. With the passage of the Active Liability Management Act in March 2018, we have laid the groundwork for liability management exercises in both the domestic and foreign markets. In consultation with the Ministry of Finance, we have already earmarked actions to implement liability management techniques on future debt obligations, and the proceeds mobilized would be maintained in a ring-fenced arrangement to meet future debt liabilities. All operations under the ALMA will be for mobilizing resources which will be earmarked purely for liability management. In addition, the medium-term debt management strategy is to be further streamlined with the assistance of multilateral agencies. We will also introduce amendments to the Local Treasury Bills Ordinance and the Registered Stocks and Securities Ordinance to ensure smooth and efficient functioning of the debt management system. In view of the increased volatility in global financial markets, we also intend to reduce the threshold for foreign investment in rupee-denominated government securities from the current 10% of the outstanding government security stock to 5%.
Dr. Kumaraswamy further highlighted the efforts taken to aid regional development.
We continue to coordinate, facilitate, and implement various refinance, interest subsidy, and credit guarantee schemes while providing a range of credit supplementary services. In addition, to increase the level of financial inclusion, a series of financial literacy and skill development programs were also conducted, with a special focus on those who have not accessed the formal financial sector. We intend to continue these initiatives in 2019 as well. Most importantly, we initiated actions to develop a national financial inclusion strategy for Sri Lanka with the aim of promoting a more effective and efficient process to improve financial inclusion across the country. The National Financial Inclusion Strategy is expected to be launched by mid-2019 to bring in financially excluded segments to the formal financial sector, thereby promoting inclusive and balanced economic growth.
The Meteorology Department forecasts that windy conditions are expected to strengthen to some extent over the island in the northwestern, Uva and eastern provinces and the Hambantota and Mannar districts and surrounding sea areas in the next few days. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in eastern and Uva provinces. Several spells of light showers will occur in the north-central province and the Hambantota district. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the Sabaragamuwa, central and western provinces and in the Kurunegala district after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy falls of above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Sabaragamuwa, central and Uva provinces and in the Galle, Mathura and Batticaloa districts. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 40 km per hour can be expected over the northwestern and eastern province and in the Hambantota and Monaragala districts. There may be temporarily localized strong winds during thunder showers. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity. Stay tuned for stock updates after this short commercial break. Welcome back. Trading at the Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a positive note today. The All-Share Price Index gained 13.75 points to close at 5,981.02 and the S&P SL 20 gained 4.12 points to close at 3,040.73. The turnover was 1.4 billion rupees and 15.3 million shares were traded. Next up is Forex rates. Well, that's all the news we have for today. Join us tomorrow at the same time for more of the very latest. Thank you and good night.